a drop in time. I feel like I gave you every breath I had, even forgave your crimes. I open my eyes to never feel awake again. They say you're only young once, but we live for, we die for, we live for forever. They say you're only young once, but we live for, we live for, we live for forever. You at the hideout, where we can dream again. I'll tell you all my secrets. We're encouraged like a second skin. The kids are all dying. We're dying to believe again. Run through the open streets. We take what is needed. They say you're only young ones, but we live for, we die for, we live for forever. They say you're only young ones, but we live for, we live for, we live for forever. We can dream on. the skies, see the heavens clearer. I could change your mind. We know where we came from. Set our hearts on fire. The dreamers are all here. We could change your mind. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. We can dream all night till the sun rises. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. We live for forever. We live for forever.
Hey guys, just wanted to go ahead and just say now, I'm waiting on Hayden to get here, as the comment in chat says. Waiting for him to get on Discord and we can get started. He got off Discord randomly a minute ago. I don't know what he's doing, but hopefully he'll be on here momentarily. We can get this show on the road. Pretty much, as the title says, we're pretty much doing that Duna Blues tier list video, but instead of just one person, we're going to do both mine and Hayden's perspective on cars on this one. I've got one pulled up already. It's got a lot of brands that we don't know. We're going to skip the ones we don't know and we don't know about. We're only going to do the ones that we do know. This one also is missing a lot of the American brands, I think. Yeah, it's missing. What is it missing? So I think it's missing Dodge. Looks like we are missing Dodge here. So I may have to switch this one up and go to a different one. This one's got a lot of companies in it, though. Oh, there's Dodge. Never mind. Okay, so Dodge is here. Volvo's here. Okay, so just making sure all the ones that we know are accounted for. I should have checked it before I even started talking, but we've got everyone here. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of companies we don't know, such as this one called VinFast. I think is what it says. Proton I know a little bit about, but we're doing based off of personal experiences here, so cars that we like, cars we don't like. We're going to skip pretty much all the brands on here that we don't know. So yeah, this is not a tier list I made, so there's some like really snarky names for some of the categories on this one. Which we won't be like messing with because again, this doesn't really go into this, so we'll only be using like the first few tiers on this. But yeah, there's quite a few brands in here, like I said, that we don't know. So once Hayden hops in here, we'll be ready to get this show on the road. So I'm just waiting on him. I texted him a few minutes ago, see if he was still down to go tonight. But like I said, just wait on him. Once he pops in, we'll be ready to rip, or at least until he tells me he's not popping in, which I don't know. I've texted him almost 10 minutes ago, so I don't know what he's doing, where he is. I may just call him on Discord anyway, but yeah, that's kind of what's going on. So yeah, guess I'll just go ahead and call him, see if I can get his attention. So I want to at least know if he's still down to stream tonight, or if he just went to bed and forgot we even talked about this. See if he gets on. Because if not, it looks like I might be, yep, looks like I might be doing this one on my own. Which sucks because we talked about this earlier. We were ready to go, but I'll give him a few minutes. We'll see what happens. He's been sick, so hopefully we can get him on here. If not, I mean, he's sick. I mean, there's not really much I can do, but he did say he wanted to do this tonight, so like I said, just waiting on him. Once Hayden pops in here, we'll be ready to go. Unless, again, I hear from him anytime in the next few minutes and he says he's not coming on tonight. In which case, we'll just have to continue with just me, which, I mean, it's fine, because that means, I mean, this is not a stream I can't do without him, like the normal podcasts. But it was like, we planned this out last week, so I'll give him to like 10:40 at the latest. We'll see what happens, because, yeah. So, who else is watching the finals? I don't pay much attention to NBA, so I really don't give a crap about the NBA at all, so I am not watching the finals, obviously. As you guys can tell, I'm sitting behind my laptop while I'm trying to set this up. Put an airbag under his seat. Well, it'd help if he was right next to me, but he's like 20 minutes away from me right now, so at his house, so it'd be hilarious. So I should probably just turn the webcam on, shouldn't I? I really don't know why I'm still setting this image up. Bam. All right, webcam's on, so now we got that. So yeah, just waiting on him. I just want to make sure what the plan is. But like I said, this is not a stream I can't not do without him. So if he doesn't come in, we'll be fine. I'm trying to get... Okay, so there's my monitor. You guys can see the monitor now, which is fine. So... Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what I need to do for... So I can move this down to under the camera. Of course, the camera's at the bottom. Okay, so now that's there. We're going to take our camera properties. I should have done this earlier. We're going to go down to a little bit too big still. I really should have done this earlier, but I didn't. It's still a little too big. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now you guys can see my monitor and the actual tier list. Like I said, there's some snarky ones down here. Pretty much everything past straight trash we're not even going to be touching. So pretty much straight trash enough will be the stuff we're working with. So I'm actually going to move this to my second monitor where my actual OBS is. So I can move OBS to this monitor. thinking like the advantage of a 2-monitor setup. Okay, so this is way too small. That didn't work. What is happening? Okay, so I'll take this guy, make it as big as it'll let me. Bam. Okay, so now we can drop this all the way down to below the monitor. Okay, there we go. Now we're set. Now we're set. So yeah, now we're on my second monitor, which is my crappier monitor, if you will. I'm going to pull this chat up on my phone for now while we're doing this. Also to do a quick sound check, make sure everything is still good. Still good. Alright. It's actually not Windows 7, it's actually what's called OpenShell. It's Windows 10 that just looks like Windows 7. It's a really cool feature. I don't really like how Windows 10 looks. Windows 10 looks like butt cheeks to me. So I wanted to have a appearance of Windows 7. So it's not actually Windows 7. I did the same thing with Mac OS at one point. I made this thing look like Mac. Because you guys know I love Mac OS. So yeah. I just really don't like how Windows 10 looks. So, yeah. We'll see, get an update on good old Hayden here, who is still not on. So, I guess I'll probably try calling him one more time, and then we'll actually probably get into this, because just make it look like Windows 95. Windows 95 just looks too old for me. I love retro stuff to death, but Windows 95 is just too old for me. I would do it otherwise. I tried doing with XP on my last computer. I used Classic Shell and did like an XP look, which I loved because I was a huge nerd for Windows XP as a kid. And I still love it. It's one of my faves. But, oh, there's Hayden. Now he's on. He just hasn't joined the call yet. So he should be on here in a moment. We'll be actually ready to start. So, hooray. We'll finally have Hayden in. Because his opinion is going to be very... So, pretty much, fun fact, me and Hayden's car opinions are very similar. But there are things we disagree on, which is why I thought it'd be cool to have the two of us. Because there's going to be a lot of unanimous decisions, but there's also going to be a lot of decisions where we're going to be like, I don't know. But what about this car in particular? What about this car in particular? You know, we're going to have a couple, like, little bit of, moments. So that's why I wanted him on here. It was to kind of give a contrast to me, because my opinions are very public. I mean, you guys know how I feel about, like, VQ motors, how I feel about Dodge, how I feel about Chevy and Ford and all that stuff. I think it'd be better to have someone whose opinion is different than mine for some of them. Obviously, car companies like Chevy and Ford, well, more Chevy, because I think me and him have a very similar opinion on Chevy. You know, obviously, Ford's going to be one where we're going to actually be like, I got the chance to ride in the back seat of my truck, and it makes the Mustang GT feel like a Bentley. Having sat in the back of a Mustang and in the back of my truck, I can kind of attest. My dad's Mustang is so much more comfortable in the truck when it comes to, like, just the suspension feel. But, oh my gosh, the headroom is so much better in the truck. Like I said, having sat in the back seat of the Mustang, it's not uncomfortable. I've ridden in the back of a ton of sports cars, and there are only a couple cars that made me completely uncomfortable, and that was the G35 and the Integra. The back seats of both of those cars are very, like, the headroom is not as good. Legroom, I mean, unless you're sitting with, like, Hayden or Michael in front of you, two really tall guys, it's okay. Well, the Integra and the G, I have to sit like this because I'm still a little bit tall. Even the Genesis, to an extent, when I rode back in Hayden's Genesis a couple times, I had to do that to an extent. It wasn't as aggressive as it was in the G. The G was a nightmare for me to sit in the back of. The roof line just curves down so aggressively. But something like, like that's one thing I do like about the Challenger is like the best daily muscle car out of them all. I don't like the Hemi motor as it is. I think the Challengers are not built to, like, high standards, like build quality wise. But they are darn good at being like good daily driver muscle cars. If you want a big muscle car with a V8 under the hood and you still want rear seat room, but you still want a coupe, the Challenger's probably the way to go because the Camaro and the Mustang suck when it comes to rear seat space. But again, they're not meant for it. I got stuck in a Toyota 86 backseat at the auto show. Okay, story time. So at the Atlanta Auto Show about 3 years ago, I got stuck in the front seat of a Golf GTI. I legit was sat in the Recaro and the seats wouldn't move up forward and back, so I got trapped. So how I got out is I fell out. I flopped down in the middle of the floor of the Georgia World Congress Center, and like in the middle of the auto show out of a Golf GTI, and my cousins were dying of laughter at me. It was a mess to say the least. So I guess we'll call him since he's on Discord now. See if we can get him online. See what he does. You guys obviously can't see the Discord chat right now, so I'm just dialing him. Is he in? Oh, well, he was in here for a second. Can't hear him, though. Are these headphones even on? There we go. Now they're on. There we go. Now I can hear him. Hello. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. You're not. They can't hear you anyway. So. All right. Oh. All right. Audio switching over to Hayden in 3, 2, 1. Bam. All right. Now they can hear you. So now we are going to be doing our little tier list thing here. I should probably. I don't know if I can screen share and stream at the same time. Crap, I didn't think this through.
What?
Okay, like how you can see the tier list. I guess I can like read
I can
them
watch
out.
the stream.
Okay, yeah, if you want to do that.
It'll be on a delay, I think, but
Yeah, I mean, you'll still hear me talk about it, and you'll see the tiers and all that. So I was saying earlier to them, there's a lot of other companies in here that we don't know. And I was thinking we skip those ones we don't know.
duh. How are we going to speak on something we don't know?
Yeah, I mean, we can't really criticize anything we don't know. So
What is... Oh, yeah, I see the one you're talking about.
there's VinFast, BYD,
Ooh,
Protons.
Tata, my favorite.
What is this one with the G next to the Mercedes Benz? I know it's Chinese, and I just don't know how to pronounce that. Obviously, I don't speak Chinese, but that's interesting. RS, what the heck is RS? Again, like I said, we're skipping a lot of these companies we don't know.
I said something really bad.
Oh man.
So glad I didn't.
All right, so Geely. That's what 8-Bitter said. So that's Geely. All right.
Haley.
You know, I think this is Geely. One of these is Geely. But anyway, we're gonna get started. So Hayden, we're gonna have your opinions on it first. The first company is Chrysler.
Chrysler?
Uh-huh.
You can go ahead and put that shit in hot trash.
But it's straight trash.
I think so.
So why do you hate Chrysler? Why would you put Chrysler there?
They're horrible. They're like stupid cheap. I don't know. I wouldn't ever buy one.
Yeah,
Nothing's really cool that comes out of Chrysler.
They had the 300 SRT8, which was like the closest we got to an enthusiast Chrysler, and that is kind of overshadowed by every other Mopar now. I mean, even the Scat Pack is like faster than the 300 SRT8. If it's even still in production, I don't even think the SRT8 is still in production anymore.
They just make the R2.
Yeah. So the Pacifica is just bland. The 300.
That's the car I got my first blowjob in.
What, a Pacifica?
Yeah.
Like a minivan Pacifica? Or the SUV?
The SUV.
Oh, the old Pacifica.
Just for that, you can bump it up to a D.
Okay. The PT Cruiser GT. 8-Bitter made a point. The PT Cruiser GT. So I guess
that is not a point. That's even like we could drop it even lower just for that.
The PT Cruiser GT is just a neon SRT4 with a PT Cruiser body. So in that regard, it's cool.
Somehow they made the neon uglier. Nice, Chrysler. Good job, guys. Oh.
So okay, final spot. D or straight trash?
I'll put him in D.
Put in
Just
D?
for sentimental reasons.
Okay. All right. So I like I said with the when it comes down to the Chrysler, there's just nothing that really tickles any of our fancies. The only car that
Yeah.
even remotely could have was the 300 SRT8, which, as we all know, is apparently not even in production anymore.
But boring. Who wants a big old automatic sedan? Not this guy. I
It,
want a sports car.
it's a big old honka. So we're gonna move on to our next company, which is Lotus.
And I want my transmission to shift.
Yes. All right. So Hayden, give me a good idea. Where do you think Lotus should go? Because I really like
I don't know.
Lotus, and I would
I
put
don't know anything about a Lotus, but I think I'd like to drive one.
Lotuses are crazy. I'm gonna put them in B because I like Lotus.
I'll just agree. I'll agree with you put it at because I don't know anything about Lotus.
Okay, so Lotus has the Elise, the Exige, the Evora. All those are actually I'm gonna put it in A because I really like Lotus. So the Elise is extremely lightweight. I think they weigh like 2,400 pounds, and they had a supercharged version of it. They're pretty much the only downside and why I was like initially not putting them in A was the Elise and Exige. They both used Camry motors. They used the Camry's engine as kind of a stepping point for their cars. So the Lotus Elise supercharged is just a supercharged Camry engine, but they are so tiny. They're built like very aggressively. They're very good track cars. Back in my like professional Gran Turismo days, I guess you could say, I used the Lotus Elise as my track car. So I have a lot of like attachment to Lotus, and they make fantastic cars. The Evora is really cool. Like, I love how the Evora looks. Personally, I prefer the Elise to the Evora, but Lotus itself is not a bad company in the slightest, and I would love to have one day if they weren't overly expensive for what they are. All right, so this one should be interesting. We're probably going to tick a ton of people off, Hayden. Nissan. Where are we putting Nissan? I don't think it'd be fair to put Chrysler ahead of Nissan.
What does that one at the bottom say? It's super blurry.
Unethical.
What is it?
Unethical.
Unethical? I think that's probably where it belongs, right?
I was saying we don't use anything past straight trash.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I like the 300 ZX.
So from
I like the older Skylines ish. They're not my. I'm more of a Supra guy myself.
Same here.
But I mean, they sound good. I mean, the 370Z is like hasn't changed in like a decade.
And as I've said before, the R35 just bores me. And
I'm not a fan of the new GTR at all. I am an automatic hater.
Yeah.
And that thing is the bane of my existence. So I don't know. I'm fine with putting it in D with Chrysler.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think because
I don't know. I think 300 is pretty good, and the Skylines. I think C.
See,
Maybe.
I can agree with that because, like 8-Bitter just said in the chat, Nissan in the '90s is an A. Like that is where they belong, is A, maybe even S if this was the '90s. But now it's just they aren't great. I mean,
it's been a fast decline.
Yeah, because the GTR is the only car that's even gotten remotely refreshed, and yet it's still king of the hill, I guess you could say, of the current Japanese sports cars. But at the same time, it hasn't gotten refreshed properly, and they're just overdone. It's the YouTuber car. Every single YouTuber has a GTR now, it seems like. And they're just overdone, and they bore me because of that. I'd much rather drive the new Mark V Supra than I would ever touch an R35, despite the power difference, despite the all-wheel drive, despite the rear seats. I would much rather drive it because it actually seems a lot more fun and easier to like. So, yeah, like I said, ever since Renault bought them, it's been bad. So that's why we're putting Nissan in C. We would put it in straight trash if we were going based off of just today alone. But since we're basing it kind of just off of like our favorites, or how we feel about them as a whole, we're putting them in C because of it. Because the Z32, the R32, 33, and 34 just carry it for Nissan. Because everything after that just kind of sucks. The Frontier
and
has
the Datsun.
Yeah, the 240Z, the 260Z, and the 280Z, all that kind of stuff. Pretty much the entirety of the Z pre-VQ is what carries Nissan, at least for us. So that's why we're putting them in C, but also they would be straight trash. All right, so this one will be interesting because me and Hayden are both very hit and miss with this company. BMW,
Is it Ford?
not BMW.
Oh.
What are you thinking?
Hmm.
Because we have the E92 M3, the E46 M3. We've got the V10 M5s. We've got the E30. We got
I'm
the
not a Euro guy,
yeah
so I'd be fine just like sticking it in B.
NB.
Like I understand they've had some really sweet cars, like even just like the 335i's are like still pretty dope,
Mm-hmm.
but they break. And the joke, you can make the jokes, but the joke's kind of true.
Yeah, it's one of those cars where the joke's true.
And they break a lot, and they're expensive to fix.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this one should be interesting because this is one of the ones I was saying earlier. Me and Hayden are going to disagree on quite aggressively. Ford. I was waiting for Hayden on that
See,
one. C. I was thinking B because I don't know, the Coyote and the Terminator kind of carry this. Because besides that, Ford doesn't really catch my interest too much. The GT500's there, but I don't know. The I think
I can't give Ford that great of a score.
yeah, because I know you don't like Ford at all.
I
Besides like a
mean,
couple of cars.
the only like couple Fords I like, I have major gripes with too.
Yeah. Because he.
Like the MT82 is the reason I wouldn't buy a Coyote platform,
Mm-hmm.
and the new Edge's interior is the reason I would never buy a Cobra.
Yeah.
It's just I nitpick them so hard.
Yeah. This is a difficult one because there is stuff you can nitpick with Ford. Like you could go back 2 valve set alone. If we were going based off of just like the '90s, Ford would be like down here. Ford would be in straight trash if this was the '90s because
Or even 2009.
yeah, even 2009 to an extent, I feel like they'd be more like a D or a C in 2009 because the 5.4 GT500s were still around. But I don't see them being much higher. But I think now with the Coyote chassis and yeah, the MT82 sucks and it's a big drawback. I'm like torn between C and B because I think B would be fair, but so would C to an extent. Because if we're going based off of it all, then C I feel like would be the best place because the '90s drags it down so hard, especially the whole probe story. Ford almost replaced the Mustang with the probe.
My like Ranger's interior is such like a not great place to be.
Yeah,
Like I just wish it was better, and
yeah,
it's not. I don't know. We can put it in B if you want, and I'll just justify it because GT350.
yeah,
But Ford's not my favorite.
yeah,
They're so close to being good.
yeah. It's just
But Ford's
they're
missed it. You just missed it. You just missed the boat, dude. At
oh
least you didn't completely miss it. You didn't like completely like fall past it like Dodge did. But
mm. we're forgetting the Ford GT.
no, we're not.
We didn't bring it up.
The Ford GT blows.
What?
It's too expensive.
It is expensive. I'm talking about the old one, the good one.
It's too expensive.
All right, so this one
That's
should
like
be
in the realm of unachievable,
yeah, a little bit.
unless you're Doug DeMuro.
Yeah, unless you're Doug DeMuro.
Like we're probably never going to be able to afford one of those.
I'd love to one day though. That's like my dream supercar. Like
So I don't
McLaren's.
even think of stuff like that
Yeah,
just because I'll never be able to afford it.
yeah. All right, so the next one is Kia. So if we were going based off of old Kia, we'd be like I'd be off the charts bad, but we're not. So from personal experience, our Spectra 5 has been a tank for 200 and almost 6,000 miles. It is broken down less often than the Mustang and the truck combined. Like the Mustang's broken a lot, surprisingly.
That's not bad for an early 2000s Kia.
Yeah, I mean it's only had like one catastrophic failure, and that was the power steering pump went bad. I mean that thing, the clutch held for 200,000 miles without a problem. I mean the car just tanks. So I think I'd be almost willing to put them in A. And the Stinger is
I wouldn't put him
fantastic.
in A. I
I
put
would
him
put
in
him in
B.
A. B?
I
That's
put him
fair.
B because I like the Stinger too. The two
Yeah.
Stingers are a really cool car, and
Yeah.
they're not selling, which sucks. So they're gonna go away soon.
It's going to be just like the Evo was. A car people like, but didn't sell.
But I know Kia has been a hot trash company for a lot of years.
Yeah. I mean, back in 2009, I saw an advertisement for a
But
buy one,
I
get one
think
free.
they're getting better.
Yeah. So I think we'll put them
But
in.
they've always made just cheap cars for people to buy, like $15,000, drive it like your dad did, like for 15 years, getting back and forth to work, and then it did its job.
Yeah. And
That's what
now,
Kia does, and that's why they're just middle of the road with a B.
yeah. So the next one, I know Dalton is in the chat, and he's going to love this. Subaru. So I'd put them in A.
Dalton, I'm sorry, Subaru's not getting past B, brother. I'm sorry.
I'd put them in A
I wouldn't.
because of their WRC history. They're monsters in rally. And by that regard, we could put Ford up there too, but Ford's WRC successes is not as great as Subaru's.
No. A's too high.
I can put them in B. I can justify putting them in B.
I put Ford in A before I put Subaru in A.
Okay. Oh, maybe I'm just a little bit biased because I love Subarus, but yeah, I'll put them in B because it's fair. Because Subarus do have reliability issues when it comes to using them as proper build platforms. Older Subarus in particular. I don't know about the new FA20 cars like Dalton's car. I don't know a lot about those. I don't know if they're like as sensitive as the EJ cars are. I know the EJs are extremely sensitive, and they love to blow up.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, we'll put Subaru in B, and plus their interior is still like the older ones. Like Dalton's interior is pretty good. Having ridden in that car and having ate his headliner before, I know exactly how good of an interior it is. But yeah, so yeah, our B tier is we're gonna put Subaru. All right, so we're gonna skip a few here because these again are companies we don't know. We're gonna go to Mini. Now, Hayden, B, C. I don't have any personal experience with Mini, so I'll let Hayden take it.
They're not reliable at all. They're fun and like whippable. The S's are a ball. At least the supercharged one. I bet the turbo one's even better.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not reliable. They got like a lot of wiring issues.
Yeah.
They're kind of quick for what they are. It makes like a good daily driver if they were more reliable, but that's about it. I would put them in C with Nissan.
All right.
Just because their reliability is so bad, but the cars are pretty fun.
Yeah, they're fun. They're just
it's Miata syndrome, but it's faster than a Miata.
Yeah, and more spacious.
And more spacious and more practical. And it still comes in a 6-speed manual with a turbo 4-cylinder. You really can't go wrong.
Not at all. All right, so next up is Lincoln. Now, personally, out of the American luxury brands, I would buy a Lincoln before I buy a Chrysler. But I'm not going to put them in C because I cannot justify putting them in C because they have no like enthusiast level cars.
They don't.
Lincoln never did like Buick did in the 80s and 90s with like the GNX and stuff. So I'm gonna put Lincoln in D because I prefer them over Chrysler. So I can't put it in straight trash. But I can't put them any higher because I don't really have any attachment to any of the Lincoln cars. The only because I was about to bring up the Panther chassis, like the town car, but I remember the town cars, the Marauder's not a Lincoln, it's a Mercury, so which I don't even think is in this. Is Mercury even on this?
I don't think so. I don't see it.
I don't see Mercury. So I mean, unless this is it. No, that's Ram. Okay, so we'll get to Ram in a minute. So yeah, I don't see Mercury, so the Marauder will not be able to get any representation, which sucks, because that's like the only Panther chassis I like.
I see what's coming up.
We've got Lexus.
Lexus is pretty good.
Because we've got...
I'm a pretty big Lexus fan.
What are you thinking, A or S? Because I'm thinking S.
I'm thinking A.
Okay. I'll take it, because the LFA carries hardcore.
Yeah, it does.
And the IS300 is still good.
What is the RCF? Something like that? That thing's pretty badass.
The RCF is like the LFA's like not little brother, but it's a performance. It's like a performance little coupe. It's like an M3 fighter, an M4 fighter. But it sounds gnarly. It's going to be the ISF. One of the guys we talked to that's at Boosted, bagged ISF. He has a really clean ISF. And I've always been
I
a
don't know.
big
Maybe we might should move it up to S. I don't know. It's a Toyota.
yeah, and we all know where Toyota's going to end up.
We'll go ahead and bump her up to S. I think.
Yeah, already ahead of you. I think that, like I said, the LFA carries too hard. The LFA just carries way too hard because the LFA is probably in my top 5 best Japanese cars ever made.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It sounds amazing, it looks amazing, and it's fast as crap. All right, so Renault. Well, we don't have anything to do with Renault here in the States yet, so we're gonna move to Volkswagen. I could put these guys in C because yeah, Dieselgate sucks. That was a big deal, and how they were testing on animals is a big problem. And like David said, morally, I would put them down here. But I'm going based off the cars alone, not their business practices.
I'm trying to keep it strictly to the cars.
Yeah, not their business practices
that they put out because like the business practice is not important to me. Yeah. Especially when I'm like, I want the best car for my money.
So
really don't care what they're doing. But it's all about me. I'm selfish. No, but yeah, I don't know. Volkswagens they're just kind of there. I like the Golfs, like the GTIs and the R's and stuff. That's pretty cool. But that's about it.
Yeah, Volkswagen, pretty much the Golf R is their flagship when it comes to their performance cars. They don't really have any big performance cars in their brand, so I
C's fine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We'll see. All right, Porsche. So personally, I'm not this big Porsche egghead. The only really Porsches I like are the 944, the 928, and the 911. Pretty much anything else bores me. Like, the Cayman and Boxster are just there to me. They're inferior to me to the other Porsches. Like the air-cooled 911, I think is better for the money. I'd much rather have an older 911 before I'd buy a newer Cayman or Boxster. And they're not bad cars. They just don't tickle my fancy personally. I think the 911 carries hard, and I can put them in A. What do you think, Hayden?
Porsche's an S.
Porsche's an S?
Porsche's an S.
Okay.
I'm a big Porsche fan. They make fantastic cars, and I'd love to own one day. I really want to stick 911. That would be fun.
Yeah. It's just for me, like I was saying, it's just the Cayman and Boxster I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Cayman fan, but I'm nuts about the 911.
Yeah, I am too. I like the 911 a lot. It's just the older Porsche, not the older Porsches, but like the Cayman and Boxster.
When you get into like the high end Porsches, the like GT2s and GT3 RSs, shit like that.
Yeah,
those are just crazy performance cars.
Absolutely. So, they're
Porsche's an ass.
Yeah, I can put them up there because, like Hayden was saying, the upper trim 911s, the GT2s, the RSs, the turbos, that's like amazing cars. I would love to ride in one. I've always wanted to ride in the 911 Turbo because, I mean, they're just obscenely fast. Cars like the Panamera is growing on me. It's interesting. It still doesn't look that great.
I don't care about the SUV or
the sedan or anything.
The sedan, the Pan American. No, I don't care about any of those. But the 911 is where it's at.
Yeah,
it carries so hard.
Yeah, it does. So, fun story about Porsche, Hayden, you might like. And speaking of the SUVs, a few years back, there was a version of the Cayenne called the GTS. I don't know if it's still around now. It had a V8, and it was a stick-shift manual. Like a 6-speed manual Cayenne.
That's the SUV, right?
Uh-huh, that's the big SUV.
With a stick?
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
Cybercall did a video on one. Like, the newer... Huh?
I bet she rips.
Oh, yeah, I bet it moves. So, like the 8-bitter was saying, the Cayenne is really nice. Yeah, the Cayenne has an all-wheel drive version. I think it might even be all-wheel drive standard. I don't know a lot about the Cayenne. I just know about that one GTS trim with the stick, which I thought was so cool. The Macan is just there to me. It's there. I mean, it's a Porsche. If you want a Porsche, I mean, you can get a Macan. Personally, though, if I'm not buying a 911 or like a 944 or 928, I don't really want a Porsche. There's not really a lot I like. But like I was saying, the 911 carries hardcore because it's the flagship. It's the car that got Porsche on the map.
When you
And
think of
it's
Porsche, that's what you think of.
yeah. And Porsche's Le Mans history, which I believe Le Mans is starting this weekend, so that'll be fun to watch. I love watching Le Mans. Porsche is it dominates Le Mans. It's outrageous how many times they've won. Audi holds the record right now, but Porsche's right behind them. So, yeah, I mean, I can put Porsche on S without being upset. So, this one, I don't even think I need to ask Hayden. It's going straight to S, which is the great Honda boy. Oh, Hayden muted. I really hope Ford does win their class in Le Mans this year. The GT was just so good a couple years back. I don't know what happened last year, but Ford's going to win their class, hopefully. The Corvettes are probably still going to be really aggressive. I really hope just one of the American companies wins. I hope the GT wins or the Corvette wins. I'll be happy with either one in Le Mans this year. I'll definitely be watching it, though. I love watching that race. So, Honda is automatically an S. No arguments there.
Oh, duh.
NSX, S2000, Civic Type R, Integra Type R, the old S Series sedans. Spoon is a big carry. Mugen's a big carry. The history of Honda's racing, they're Formula One. I mean, Honda is just like the big dog, and Honda's a definite S. Bugatti. We know a little bit. Do you want to skip that one, or do you want to put it on?
I don't know enough about Bugatti, honestly.
Okay, so now we got some others to skip. Do you want to do Rolls Royce?
I mean, we can if you want to. You'd have to talk about it. I don't know much about them.
So
I don't study that stuff.
I'm going to put Rolls in C because Rolls Royces are incredibly comfortable and they're really high tech, and I love the Star Night headliner. That's such a cool feature because it's not just a preset. They just put lights in your headliner. It's you pick the night you pick the specific star pattern of the night you want. So say you bought a Rolls Royce and you want to be super romantic and you wanted to get your significant other's birthday and the headliner. They can do it. But the reason they're not higher, Rolls Royce doesn't have any true enthusiast cars. The Wraith is as close as it gets. The Wraith is fast, but it's not like a track performer. It still holds true to the Rolls Royce name though. It's a very luxurious coupe. So that's why I put them in C. Jeep. Are we putting Jeep, Hayden?
Jeep, we can stick it down there with Chrysler or straight trash. I'm fine with it. I'm sorry, you're just fucking Pentastar Jeep that you paid $45,000 for. Piece of junk, dude.
Here's the thing with Jeep. They have one decent car, and that's the Trackhawk. I say decent because it's still big and heavy, and it still will get outran by a lot of cars. The Wrangler is a bit like crap. It's a cow is more aerodynamic than a Jeep Wrangler. A cow. While they're fantastic off-roaders, they aren't good daily drivers. They break very easily. I heard a story that someone bought a brand new JL Wrangler from a dealership, and it broke down on the way home.
Oh yeah, Isaac works with a guy who daily drives a 2014 that's lifted, and his is broken right now.
They break very easily.
It's dude, he's still making payments on it. It's bro.
See, I can't do that. So I have to put Jeep down there. I cannot justify putting them any higher.
Oh, and the fact that Isaac's dad owns one, and that thing is falling apart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Apparently, the shifter is now sideways. I don't even know what the
what?
fuck that's supposed to be. He said the transmission almost fell out of it. He was telling me this, and I was just looking at him like, "What are you talking about?"
All right.
But yeah, first is not normally where it's supposed to be. I don't know what he did to his transmission. But yeah, that's the good thing about Jeep. I love them.
Yeah. Acura. Where are you putting Acura? Because Acura is A. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Acura as a whole has really none of their cars are truly unique to them. Because all of their cars are shared with Honda. But
yeah, I mean, you could stick them in S. It's basically the same thing.
But the only thing is that when it comes to Acura, we only got three enthusiast cars out of them. We had the Integra, we had the NSX for us in the States, and we had the RSX. That's all we've really gotten. That's why I can't. I don't know if I can put them in S, but A is completely fair. I could almost put them in S. I haven't decided just yet because we still got the Integra Type R out of them, but that's it.
Yeah, but the
Besides the
Integra Type R
NSX.
is a Honda.
Yeah,
It'd
it's
be a Honda
effectively a
Integra.
Honda.
It's like I don't know. It's such a weird thing. 'Cause it's the same fucking. I don't know. Just think of an A. It's fine.
That's what I was thinking.
Anybody wants to nitpick it? Like they're interchangeable. If you want to put them in S, you can put them in A. I don't know. Like you said, there was only 3 that were branded as an Acura here. That's what we have to go off of in the States.
Yeah. All right. The brand Genesis, not the car, but the brand Genesis.
I'm in a group on Facebook that people that have like they upgraded from their Genesis coupes to like actual Genesis branded cars. And they seem really nice. They haven't had any issues out of them either. But I don't know enough about them.
Want to put them in B?
Yeah, I mean they're like probably like a BMW if I had to make a guess.
They're very comfortable, I've heard, and they still make the R spec in the sedans, and they have the G70, which is still available in a stick. I mean, they're a pretty good brand. All right, Land Rover. I don't know a lot about Land Rover. We'll put them
I
in,
don't either.
I'm gonna put them in D because I know a little bit about them. I know they are pains to bust to work on, and they break every other 2 seconds. But besides that, they're really comfortable. So I'll put them in D. I can find that fair. Toyota Automatic S. That's the same story with Honda. There is no arguing that. Toyota is going straight to S.
Oh, duh.
The Supra.
Is that hard?
The Supra. The entire Supra line. The MR2. I love the MR2 a lot. What's some other big ones? Even the older Celicas, like the Celica GT4. What else? The 2000 GT. The Mark V, even I would even say. I like the Mark V. It's definitely not to their full potential though. Toyota could have done a little bit better job. But yeah, we're gonna put Toyota in S for sure. That's just a given. Mitsubishi. Now, like I said, we're not going based off now because 2019 Mitsubishi. We'd be putting him in unethical. We'd be putting him.
Yeah.
It would be the only.
It's the hottest of garbage, dude.
I couldn't call it straight trash because that's a compliment. We'd be putting it in unethical. But if we're going based off of all time, where are we going to put them?
B?
B? Yeah. Because like modern Mitsubishi drags them down so much, and the Evo is not without its flaws. And 5-speed. So,
yeah.
Mitsubishi still, I love Mitsubishis. I love the Evos to death, but I just can't justify it with the Evo. Like, the Evo 10 was ready to be a good car. It had the good looks, it had the good engine. They botched it with the build quality and the interior, and they botched it with the transmission. You're paying $30 for a Lancer. $30,000 for a Lancer, with just a more powerful engine all-wheel drive. The interior is just the same as that $9,000 range or Lancer.
It sucks. I really like the way the Evo 10 looks too.
Yeah,
I texted you one today. That's blue one.
I didn't see it. Oh yeah, the one you sent me on Snapchat this morning.
Yeah, that thing was nice. Yeah, I like Evos a lot, and the 3000 GT is cool too.
Yeah, I always forget the 3000 GT. All right, so Fiat. There's only one car I'm big on from Fiat, and that's the 500 Abarth. And I don't think it carries too hard. It carries, but it's not doesn't carry hard enough. So Fiat as a whole, I can put them in C.
I can put them in straight trash.
I don't know. The Abarth just carries too much. I can't put it in straight trash because the Abarth's there still.
I think it should be lined up right there with Jeep. People that make Jeeps. Put them down there with them.
It is the Renegade. They do pretty much make the Renegade in Italy.
No.
So I just can't. I have to put them in D. For me, at least.
No, they're going in straight trash, dude. Sorry.
I guess. But the Abarth's still good. We can't not knock the Abarth. Fiat as a whole is garbage. But the Abarth's cool. The 124 is cool, and the Abarth 500 is cool. But the rest of them as a whole is not good. Mazda. If it's not an A, if it's not an S, I'm gonna be upset. So it's going an S. There's just so much good.
Hold on.
What?
Mazda an S?
Yes.
I think Mazda can get an A. I don't know
Why?
about S. Mazda almost got there. Almost.
I guess. What about the RX-7 though? The RX-7 is like so good.
If it lasted more than 30,000 miles, it'd be a good car.
The Miata carries.
Miata does carry. The Miata's badass. That's what gets it to A.
And the Speed
The
3.
RX-7 looks cool, but until you put an LS in it, they're undrivable.
But Speed 3. Speed 3 is still good. That carries pretty good too.
Speed 3 carries pretty good. They have good
Speed
cars.
6.
They don't have anything that's too Jay-Z good, in my opinion.
Fair.
People be like, the Rotary, but
The Rotary,
I like them, but I would never own them.
Yeah, the Rotary's cool, but they're so finicky and they break so easily. It makes it hard for me. I don't know. I feel like Mazda should still be an S because they do have a lot of fantastic cars. But like Hayden was saying, the RX-7, in a sense, can still drag it down just a little bit.
If the Rotary lasted like a 2J or any like Honda motor, we'd put it up there.
Yeah.
But the RX-7 just like doesn't last like it. It makes the power,
And it looks good.
but for like half, but lasts for like half the time of these other cars. Like,
and the FD still looks fantastic.
yeah.
All right, Tesla. I can put them in C only because of their reliability. There have been tons of issues lately with them just catching fire randomly. And I don't like electric cars.
I put them in B.
Put them in B. Because the Road's just cool. I like the original.
We'll put them in C now, but let's see what the Tesla Roadster does. See
Yeah.
what kind of numbers this thing's going to be cranking out.
Yeah, because this is going to be a monster. All right, Aston Martin. I can put them in C.
I don't know enough about Astons. They're kind of boring to me.
Yeah, I get that. They're more Grand Tours than they are like
they're
track
I was going
cars.
to say they're Grand Touring cars.
I love the Vanquish, the old Vanquish, the original Vanquish from the early 2000s. I love that car to death. And yeah, they are very, 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 very unreliable. And Aston did used to be owned by Ford. It was like the nicer Ford that wasn't a Ford. And apparently, to my knowledge, what I was told is the old 6-liter V12 was just two 3.0 V6s from Ford just mashed together. But yeah, I'm gonna put Aston in C only because they still, to me at least, they still haven't reached that point of like I don't know, like proper like enthusiast respect. Like people look at Astons, they're like, they're okay. That's pretty much the community's main reaction, unless you like Astons, obviously. So I'm gonna put them in C just because they're just, I don't know, they're not my style of cars. My style of cars is like fast in a straight line. You can handle a little bit, kind of stuff. So this one's gonna be interesting. Audi. Hayden hates Audi.
I don't like Audis. I'm not a Euro fan at all.
The R8 carries a touch. The R8 is like,
No, it doesn't. The R8 fucking boring, dude.
it is boring, but for Audi as a brand, it is what carries them a little bit. I can't put them in trash. I can put them in D. I can put them in D happily. And that's pretty much, like, I don't know. The Audi does have some cool cars, but it's not enough. They're still the businessman car. So can we put them in D?
What other like? What are like some like hard hitters from Audi? Because I don't know all. Like I know they have some like pretty fast ones, like the
RS7.
Yeah, the RS series.
Yeah. The RS cars and the R8. That's all I can think of, really. I mean, yeah, the Le Mans heritage is great. If we were going based off of just their racing heritage, Audi would be towards the top. But we're not. That's why I can put them in D. While Audi's Le Mans heritage is fantastic, I mean, I believe they are currently the holder of the most wins in Le Mans history. I don't know. Their consumer cars just don't necessarily tickle my fancy. The TT's okay. The TT is okay, The A4 is cool. It's very interesting. We know a guy who has one, and it is surprisingly fast.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and it sounds
They
pretty
just
good.
don't do much for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't really give it anything better than a C.
Yeah, you want to put them in C?
I guess. I feel like that's kind of where they. Oh, people be so butthurt over this. That Mitsubishi and the Genesis brands above Audi and Kia.
All right. Well, you think people are gonna butt her? This one's gonna butt a lot of people. Dodge.
Unethical. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care, honestly.
I don't know. I think I don't know because I'm torn between these two at the bottom. Because the Demon carries. The Demon does carry. And the Viper carries.
The Viper's a cool car.
The Viper is like the only Dodge minus the SRT4 that I like. All the other ones just they're big. They're big, heavy boats. And I don't know. I haven't like I don't know. Dodge's build quality is still absolutely atrocious. Every single Dodge we've ever owned has been a lemon to every extent. Both of our Dodges have killed transmissions. On multiple occasions, our last Dodge broke the computer. And the best part is Dodge. We went to Dodge, and the representative was like, yeah, they should recall, but they're not going to. So Dodge knows when they have problems, but they refuse to fix it. So I can put them in D or straight trash, and either one will be fine. Because the Viper and the Demon are good. Well, I don't know, but the Demon's good for its
Just
purpose.
my experience with like Dodges, like our Ram trucks have always sucked. They always like leak power steering fluid. The AC never freaking works.
Yeah, but Ram's on its own little thing.
We've owned 3 Durangos, and the AC always breaks, and transmissions go out.
So what do you think?
They're not cars.
I honestly want to put them in...
I could just put them in D. My experience with not being that great.
Yeah. The only reason we're putting them in D is because of the Viper.
I mean, we could put them in like C or B. I don't care.
I can't.
Because like the Viper is really cool. The Challenger doesn't much for me.
The other
the slanted stick shift.
Yeah, the other Dodges.
It's also a little big.
Yeah, the other Dodges just don't tickle our fancies anymore.
I like the Viper, but the Viper's like those cars so expensive. I'm not gonna be able to afford it.
I don't know. I don't
even think about it.
To me, I can't let one car be like the big factor, make it jump one whole grade. While the Viper is fantastic, I can't say that just the Viper carries it hard enough. Because the rest of Dodge brings it down.
Well, they got the Hellcats and stuff pretty fast.
They're fast. That's it.
You said you like to go fast.
I like to go fast, but I also like to have a car that's built properly. A car where the compass goes out, it won't die. Because we talked to a mechanic, I'm pretty sure I've done this story on stream before. Modern Dodges, everything is done through the body control. So, or the PCM. It's one of the two. I think it's all the body control is through the PCM. So if your compass goes out, the car shuts off. And the one that people go to a lot, the Challenger's taillights never seem to line up on any of them. It's rare to see a Challenger with its taillights that line up 100%. Let's see. The automatics, besides the new ZF transmissions that they're using, the old ones suck. The old automatics and Dodges were atrocious.
Yeah, all the Dodge transmissions we always had suck. I don't know. We're dealing with different stuff. I really can't speak for the brand new stuff.
Yeah. I can a little bit because my mom had a modern Dodge and it sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
That's why Mom got rid of it. She ditched it quick, fast, and in a hurry when she could. That's why she drives a Chevy now. Never thought I'd ever see the day that happened, but it did. That's how bad the Dodges were for her. They just kept breaking, and she had to get rid of it.
She should have gotten into a Mazda.
Huh?
She should have gotten into a Mazda.
Yeah, she should have.
Or a Honda.
She tried to get into a Rogue. That's what she wanted first, but she just didn't like it enough.
No, look where Nissan is on our list, bro.
Yeah. Volvo. Just going to tick everybody off. I'm going to put Volvo in C personally, but where would you put them?
I think C's fair. They don't do much for me. They're really like I know they're really advanced with their like safety,
They're incredibly safe.
and I know they make fantastic semi truck.
Mm-hmm.
But not all I know about.
All right, Hayden. Here's your favorite. Is next Chevy. Where are you putting Chevy? I'm almost want to put him in A. As a Ford guy, I can put Chevy ahead because the C7 ZR1 is so good. The C6 ZR1, the LS is an entirety. The entire LS line is just it's what put Chevy on the map in the world of performance cars.
It's the bee's knees.
There's a reason why the LS gets its own festival multiple times a year.
Yeah.
Ford gets Ford Nationals once a year and Mustang Week. Chevy gets LS Fest twice a year. They had LT Fest for a little while too. So I can put them in A. They've had a lot of fantastic drivers' cars. And while I don't like the Silverado, I really don't like the Silverado, all their other cars are great. I can put Chevy in A. Where do you think they should go?
Probably there.
Because here's the thing. The
I'm not
old
going to argue it. I like the LS.
Yeah.
If you want to jump it up there, I'm like.
The old Chevys, the problem, if we're talking like build quality wise, like I said in today's video, early 2000s American cars blew. I mean, they sucked. And that goes for all three companies. Chevy seemed to suck the least, like early 2000s. Yeah, the 4060 was garbage, but it had the best build quality of the group. So that's why I don't know. The F body sucked. I'm not a big F body fan, but
Yeah.
I think besides that, the LS as a whole makes it deserve A. And the ZL1s are fantastic. The ZR1s are fantastic. I mean, Chevy's built some fantastic cars the last couple of years. And with the C8 on the horizon, I mean, we really can't forget about the C8. The C8's going to be fantastic when that comes in. Okay, Maserati. I can put them down in D. Not
Yeah,
quite.
I was D.
I can't put them in straight trash because the Gran Turismo is still good, but the rest of the Maserati line is hot garbage. The Ghibli is just a glorified Dodge Dart.
I was going to say you can stick them with the makers of the Dodge Dart.
Yeah. Because the Ghibli is just a Dodge Dart. It's pretty much what it is. It runs on the Pentastar.
That was another terrible car that came out of Dodge recently. Dodge Dart.
Yeah, the Dart was
God.
awful. So, yeah. Maserati's D, for sure. All right, Koenigsegg.
I don't know a lot about Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg, I think, goes to S. They are pioneers in the automotive industry. They have built some of the fastest cars to ever be on the road, and they've built some very, very high tech stuff. So I can put them in S. They're a pioneer. Suzuki. I'm like straight trash. D.
All right, it's straight trash. It's fine too.
Because the only Suzuki I liked was the Escudo Pikes Peak from Gran Turismo 3. The rest of them kind of blow. The Equator is just a rebadged Frontier. Some of their other cars, the Verana, I think was what it was called, the little 4-door sedan, wasn't that great. They're pretty much just another like half GM kind of deal. That wasn't great. We'll skip Seat because we don't know a lot about Seat. Buick. Does the G and X carry hard enough?
The what?
Does the Grand National carry hard enough?
D.
D. Bentley. I'm not going to put Bentley in straight trash.
C.
See? I can agree with that. Jaguar. Keep in mind, Jaguar's had a couple good performance cars. D.
D.
Alfa Romeo. The Giulia is awesome. The Quadrifoglio is an awesome car.
D.
D. All right, Mercedes. They've had some pretty darn good cars the last couple of years.
Mercedes does make a pretty nice car. I think they can go in A, don't you?
Yeah, I can agree. All right. Hyundai. Does
I
the
think we need to knock Kia down to C.
where'd you put Hyundai at?
I think I'd stick Hyundai in C too.
The Genesis doesn't carry hard enough.
It doesn't. I mean, it's like a fantastic car. It has its flaws. I personally like it for like a cheap sports car to hop into, but they haven't really had much since it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it in order.
The lost her in, I guess, but
Yeah. All right, McLaren. I put them in A, but I know you don't like McLarens too much.
well, you put McLaren today.
You
That's
put
fine.
McLaren in. How about Ferrari?
I'm not a Ferrari.
I like the Enzo. The Enzo, the LaFerrari, I think they carry. But personally, I would buy McLaren first. So I'm going to put them in B because I think that I personally would buy a Corvette before I'd buy a Ferrari. And I'd buy a Honda before I'd buy a Ferrari. Because you can build a Honda for a lot cheaper than you can buy a Ferrari. All right, so we're getting down to our last few. For that, like all these over here, we aren't touching because we don't know about them. Bugatti is just the one exception to that. We're just leaving them there because why not? All right, Cadillac. Does the CTS-V carry hard enough to put it and say B?
I like the CTS-V a lot.
Because CTS-V is fantastic. But that's like Cadillac's, besides the ACS-V, that's like Cadillac's like only good car.
Yeah, I mean, I can stick them in B.
That's what I was thinking.
I think B is fair. CTS-V carries it up to B.
Yeah, because the rest of it would just put it in D. The rest of Cadillac would put it in D. Because they're there, and I don't hear a lot of bad things about Cadillacs. But the V carries them enough to put it in B. So we're down to our last two. Infinity.
C?
C?
Yeah.
I was thinking D. Because the
Really?
Q60 is the only big Infinity to me. The G35 and G37 are just 350Zs with suits on. And quite frankly, I would buy a Z before I'd buy a G. So I could put Infinity in D. But if you
think C, but they're fine in D. That's whatever you want to do.
I'll put them in C just because I want to be a little bit fair. Because the 37's decent. The 37's decent. They started to get their crap a little bit with the introduction of the 37. But anything prior to the 37, the G was like, it was just there. Yeah, it's got a big following. But I can't put it in like anything higher than C. The VQ just doesn't catch my attention. So our last one, GMC. All they build are trucks.
Yeah, I was about to say they're a solid D.
That's what I was thinking. All right. So that's our list. Are there any you want to change before we finish this list up and we can like go through them all? I bought Kia down to C.
Yeah, Kia. I think Kia belongs to C. I think it was a little high being on B with BMW.
Yeah.
And Ford and Subaru. Even though the Stinger is fucking awesome.
It's a great car, but the rest of Kia just. Anything you want to change, or you think this is it?
I'm looking at it. I think it's good. That's like a solid list. This is how I see the car market.
Marshall with the Speed 3 says Mazda should be at the top. We were saying earlier the Speed 3 carries. I tried to make the argument to put in an S, but Hayden said the rotary's reliability is what kept it out. Which is fair, because the rotary is not reliable in the slightest. I think Mazda sits pretty okay. I think I could keep Mazda in A. I would like to put them in S, but like you were saying, the rotary, while it's a cool novelty, it's too finicky and they break too easily. I had to actually coach a guy when I worked at Advance how to actually operate a rotary properly because he kept flooding his car.
Oh, nice. He had one.
He had an RX-8.
Oh, wow.
And he came to me a couple times. He's like, yeah, the thing struggles to start sometimes after a while. I'm like, it flooded. He's like, huh? He's like, rotaries flood. They're very finicky. The 787B, that's a good point. If we're going based off of racing heritage, the 787B is the only Japanese car to ever win Le Mans. And it did it with a rotary. It's the most reliable
Well,
rotary.
we really weren't talking about like
Racing
the
heritage.
racing history. We're
Like,
talking about production cars on the road.
Yeah. Like in a
And
second.
how we see them in the enthusiast. In the enthusiast eyes, who's looking to pick up a car.
Yeah. Like, we could always reset it if you guys want to keep this stream going a little while longer. We could reset it and go based off of racing heritage. There'd be a lot less cars on this one because not a lot of these even have racing heritages. Like Hyundai and Infiniti and like Tesla and Rolls Royce, they don't have racing heritage. Kia don't even have racing heritage. Like, we could do the big guys like I don't know about Lexus. Lexus doesn't even race. Porsche, Honda, Toyota, Mazda, Chevy, McLaren, Mercedes, all of those guys that have like proper racing heritage. So if you guys want us to do this again, we can reset it and we can do racing heritage. But I guess to close out this list, our S tier is Lexus, Porsche, Honda, Toyota, and Koenigsegg. Lexus because the LFA and the RCF carry. Porsche because the 911 is just amazing. Honda is self-explanatory. The S2000, the NSX, the Civic Type R, the Integra Type R. The list could go on with Honda. Toyota, same story. The 2JZ is fantastic. The Supra carries super hard. The Celica, the MR2, stuff of that nature. Koenigsegg is just a pioneer in the industry. Koenigsegg is just, it's hard to argue to not put them in S. A is Lotus, Acura, Mazda, Chevy, Mercedes, and McLaren. Lotus because the Elise is just on fire. The Exige as well. The Exige is fantastic. Acura, the only reason they're not S is because we really only got a few like enthusiast cars branded as Acuras, and they were all rebadged Hondas. So we really couldn't just by putting them in S. Mazda, they would definitely be an S if it wasn't for the rotary's reliability. If we took into account LS swaps, they'd be an S. But we're talking about just from the factory. Chevy, the LS carries too hard. The LS is just one of the best performance platforms for a reason. And the Corvette and the Camaro ZL1 are just dominating right now. Mercedes-Benz, they built some fantastic performance cars. So we have to put Mercedes there. McLaren, it's my favorite. It's my personal favorite supercar manufacturer. I love Koenigsegg, but I would much rather buy McLaren if it were me. BMW, our B tier is BMW, Ford, Subaru, Genesis, Mitsubishi, Ferrari, and Cadillac. BMW they have the cool cars, but they don't have the reliability to back it up. Ford, it's the 90s bring it down. They would be an A as well with Chevy if the 90s didn't just drag it so hard. Subaru, they're fantastic but unreliable. Genesis, they have some enthusiast cars and they're really comfortable and luxurious, but we can't really take it any higher. Mitsubishi, the Evo just carries that hard. The rest of Mitsubishi sucks, but the Evo's good. Ferrari, reliability is a bit of an issue. The 458 had issues with catching on fire when they first came out. Cadillac, CTSV, self-explain. That's just the rest of Cadillac. It'd be in D if it wasn't for the CTSV. Our C tier is our biggest with Nissan, Kia, Mini, Volkswagen, Rolls-Royce, Tesla, Aston Martin, Audi, Volvo, Bentley, Hyundai, and Infiniti. Nissan, 90s Nissan carries the Skyline line, the Skylines, the 300ZX, the Datsuns, stuff of that nature. They all carry Nissan. Modern Nissan would be in D or straight trash because
it's just modern Nissan drags it down that hard.
Yeah,
it sucks, but
because if we were just talking about 90s Nissan, they'd be up top. They'd be in the S. So Kia, the Stinger is good, but the rest of Kia is not that great. The Mini,
like you said, your dad had pretty good luck with his Kia.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the manual transmissions were pretty stout.
Yeah.
So I think that was the weak part of like Kia and Hyundai in the early 2000s was transmissions, because that's what happened to my buddy Corbett. His transmission overheated and blew up.
Oh.
So
So Mini's
I
only,
think they belong to C.
yeah, I could agree. Mini, they're pocket rockets. They're fun and they're quick for what they are, but they're unreliable, which is why they're down C. Volkswagen, that's just the Golf. That's really the only like enthusiast Volkswagen we have. Rolls Royce, they're surprisingly luxurious. They've got their best in class luxury, but their enthusiast level cars aren't good. They aren't really existent. Tesla, unreliable, and electric cars just aren't our thing. But we can't. They're better than a lot of other cars. Aston, same story. They're just meh. They're there. They're not bad, and they have some enthusiast cars, which is why they're in C, not in D. Audi, the R8 is the only reason it's in C. The RS line is the only reason it's C. Volvo, they don't really have any enthusiast cars, but they're safe. Bentley, comfortable, and they're pretty quick. Hyundai, the Genesis is the only reason it's up at C, or so it would be a D. Infiniti, the Q60 is the only reason it's in C. And the G37 to an extent. I don't like the Gs very much at all. D is mostly where the Mopar sit. All but one of the Mopar brands sits. Oh, we didn't even bring Ram. Where do you put Ram?
Straight trash.
Okay. I forgot that was there because it had a blacked out icon where you couldn't see it. I remember dragging it down there. So our D tier is Chrysler, Lincoln, Land Rover, Dodge, Maserati, Buick, Jaguar, Alfa Romeo, and GMC. Chrysler, they're built like crap, and they only had one enthusiast car, which isn't even around anymore, or two enthusiast cars, and neither of them are around anymore. Lincoln, it's higher quality than Chrysler, but they have no enthusiast level cars. Land Rover, they're comfortable and they're good off road, but they're unreliable. Dodge, the Viper just doesn't quite carry hard enough. The rest of their cars are built like crap. They can go fast in a straight line, but they probably can only do it once or twice before they blow up, or before the transmissions give. Maserati, I'd put them in straight trash if it wasn't for the Gran Turismo and the MC12. Buick, the Grand Nationals, the only reason they're in D. The rest of them suck. Jaguar, the F-Type and the XKR and the XFR, stuff like that, they all carry Jaguar D, but they haven't, I don't know, they just aren't quite tickling my fancy just yet. The F-Type's like it. Alfa Romeo, they only have really one big car here in the States, and that's the Giulia, like the Quadrifoglio. GMC is just trucks. So our straight trash tier is Jeep, Fiat, Suzuki, and Ram. Jeep.
That 100% belongs in straight trash.
What, Jeep?
Yes.
Jeep, the Trackhawk's okay. The Trackhawk's okay. It's fast for an SUV, but it's fast for an SUV, which means that a Corvette ZR1, a GT500, a mildly built STI or Evo, a Supra, pretty much everything can pass it in the long run because it still weighs 8 tons. The Wrangler is unreliable and is less aerodynamic than an animal. Fiat, I would love to put them in D because the 500 Abarth's great, but the rest of Fiat just absolutely sucks. So we can't put them in here. Like I couldn't argue that in there. Suzuki, they just don't have anything good here. Suzuki's cars aren't great. Ram, same kind of story with Dodges, except a little bit worse. My personal experience with Ram hasn't been great. The Ram I drove died on me out of nowhere over just the stupidest thing. So yeah, that's our tier list. So let's see here.
I don't think I changed anything that I like it.
Yeah, I like how it sits. Subaru needs to jump up one because they don't depreciate in line. If you take care of them, don't push crazy power. It's perfect. I can agree with that. But people like crazy power, which is the only reason they're in B. Because if
I mean, all they have is the WRX and I guess the BRZ to an extent.
The BRZ.
But, like, I wouldn't put the BRZ over a Miata, so I think Mazda should stay above Subaru.
Yeah.
And like, if you're like, I would have to like make Ford, not Jordan, make Ford jump up before I make Subaru jump up.
You put Ford in A before you put Subaru in A.
Yeah, because they just don't have very good manual transmissions. That's what I like about Ford, or interiors, unless you get a brand spanking new one.
Yeah. Oh, I got a news notification. Well, something about the NHL. All right. I should pull my phone back up, shouldn't I? I need the chat. Okay. So, do you guys want us to reset this and go at it again over something different? Like, what do you think would be a good category we could do another tier list with?
I don't know.
Just the racing scene? Just do a short list? We can do like one representative per group. Well, not one representative. We can do only, I don't know. What do you think, Hayden?
I don't know.
Do we have enough opinions on the actual racing scene for some of these car companies?
I don't really. I don't keep up with it.
Because I think the list probably wouldn't change too much, except Mazda would be an S if we were going based off of racing heritage.
Yeah.
Racing heritage would be kind of the same. Porsche, Honda, Toyota, Mazda would be an S. So I guess we'll kind of just rearrange it now. So we'll put, so Lexus doesn't have any racing heritage, so we'll put them in there. Porsche does, Honda does, Toyota does, Koenigsegg doesn't, so we'll put them down here as well. So we're putting everything in straight trash until we like as far as we know racing heritage. So these are like some of the top. Well, no, Toyota doesn't even have that big of racing heritage. Well, they do in the GGTC, so I'll put them in A for that. McLaren goes in S. Mazda goes in S. Chevy, I will put in A because their race cars are good. Lotus can stay, and we'll put Lotus in C. And then we'll put them in B because their racing heritage is pretty good too. BMW doesn't have much of a racing heritage at all, so we'll put them down in D. Ford's racing heritage is great, so we'll put them in S. Subaru's rally heritage, we'll put them in A. Mitsubishi's rally heritage is better, so we'll put them in A as well because I think they're about the same. Ferrari's an S. Cadillac doesn't have any racing heritage. Nissan's got so we'll put them in. We'll leave them and see where they were. Mini has really good racing heritage. Tesla does not even have a race car. Kia doesn't have a race car either. Nissan's going to stay in C. Volkswagen, they don't race at all. At least I don't think they do. Rolls-Royce doesn't race at all. Audi's an S. Volvo don't race. Bentley had an LMP car for a little while, so put them in A. Hyundai and Infiniti, neither of them race. Like, I'm talking about mainly with Le Mans, so they'll both go down to straight trash here for this one. Dodge had the Racing Vipers, so I'll put them in B for that because the Racing Vipers were good. The MC12 carries Maserati in A. Buick doesn't have any racing heritage. Well, I can put BMW in I can put them in B. BMW does have a little bit of racing heritage, but it's not as good. Where's Mercedes at? Mercedes, they have a good racing heritage. They'll go in A. Jaguar's racing heritage is pretty good. We'll put them in B. Alfa Romeo has really good racing heritage. I think this is how it'll sit. Racing heritage-wise, he's like everything in straight trash doesn't race like competitively, so we can take all these guys out. But I do know a little bit about some of these companies down here. So we'll throw Renault in. Renault's racing heritage is fantastic. And so is Pugo's. Pugo's is pretty good too. So I'll put them in A. Bugatti's is pretty good. Bugatti's an S. On the racing heritage. And that's all of them. I think that's all the ones we can name that I know about racing-wise. So yeah, that's our racing heritage list. So pretty much everything outside, well, I guess since these guys don't race at all, we can put that. We're putting everything that doesn't race at all in straight trash, but everything else that does race. Aston Martin needs to be an A. Yeah, so this is it. This is our racing. So straight trash, none of these guys race. Everyone else does. So our S tier when it comes to racing, self-explanatory for Porsche and Audi to be here. They're like the people that are back and forth with Le Mans records. Honda is an F1, and they have a lot of success in Japanese racing. McLaren had F1, Ayrton Senna. Mazda, the 787B, the RX-7 race cars, stuff of that nature. Ford, the Ford GT40, the GTLM cars. Ferrari, they are self-explanatory. Like the kings of F1 these days. Minus Mercedes, they've been killing it lately too. Mini's rally heritage is insane. Audi, again, like I said earlier, fights with Porsche for Le Mans. Mercedes has touring car, rally cross. I mean, they rally, Le Mans. I mean, they are just all over the place. Renault, again, F1. Bugatti, classic, like F1 before it was F1. Acura doesn't race at all, so I'll put them straight trash too. Chevy, the Corvette C7R and the C6R, the Corvette race cars are great. Toyota, they had a decent rally team in the 90s. Subaru, Mitsubishi, the rally teams are fantastic. Well, I think they both can be an S because they both have really good rally teams. Bentley is an A. They had the Speed 7 race car. Maserati, the MC12 was good. BMW, they have touring cars and their own LMP cars. Alfa Romeo, the European touring car, like they dominated that scene. Pugo, their F1 history, and their diesel race cars. They were some of the first diesel LMP cars. Aston Martin, they dominate the touring car class nowadays, but they haven't always had like a crazy heritage. Well, they've had a little bit of a heritage, but I don't know. I don't feel they're on the level of the others. Genesis don't race. I don't know why they're there still. Lotus does do pretty well. Dodge, they only had one proper competitive race car, and that was the Viper. Jaguar, they had a lot of touring car success as well. Nissan, they had like their old LMP cars, like the R390. And I think they do race the GTR at Le Mans. No, not Le Mans. Yeah, they did Le Mans for a little while. So we'll put them in C. The rest of these, they just don't race. Okay, Hayden, so we got a cool topic idea. I'll just refresh. Let's see if it resets. Alright, it does. There we go. Oh, it didn't reset. Oh, there it is. Reset. Hayden. Oh, he muted his mic on me. So we'll do project cars. So I guess we're our last one. I need to go get my phone charger, so I'll be right back. Oh. This thing is screaming at me. This laptop is really not liking this too much. Oh. Alright. Get that plug back in. Alright, now we're set. We're going to try to see if Hayden wants to do the project car list, because I think that'd be interesting. We could. A lot of these companies that really do cars you could use for project cars. Oh, Hayden's getting off. So Hayden's sick, so he's going to hop off for the night. I guess I'll take over for the project car segment, because I think Hayden will probably just tune in and watch the rest of this. So hopefully Hayden feels better. We'll just go ahead and shut Discord off altogether. Alright. So project cars. Chrysler's automatic and straight trash, because they don't have really any project car level cars. Lotus, we'll put them in D, because I think they're pretty common project cars overseas, but not here. Nissan I can put in A, because the 240s are very popular, the Zs are very popular, so I can put them in A, but I don't know if I can put them in S just yet. I could probably put them in S, because the 240 does carry really hard. BMW, I could put them in A. Their project car scene is insane. 2JZ E46s or something I got interested. Ford is an automatic S in this one, because the Mustang is such a very popular chassis for project cars. I want to do a Project Mustang one day. Kia, I'm going to put them in D, because I don't feel like quite, I'll put them in trash, because they're not quite respected as a project car manufacturer just yet. Subaru is an S, because the STIs are very popular. The WRX line is very popular. The 25RS is even very popular. Mini, I'll put them in B, because they're okay, commonly project cars, but they aren't like Subaru level yet. Lincoln, no one builds Lincolns. Lexus, I'll put them at A. Because I don't know. I feel like that's a fair point to put them at. Volkswagen, I'll put them in S because the Beetle's very popular. The Golfs are very popular. Porsche, I can't really judge them as a project car manufacturer, so I'll put them in D with Lotus because you can get a Boxster at 911. Honda's an S because they are probably one of the most common project cars because they are very inexpensive. Bugatti, no one can afford one as a project car. Rolls Royce, same story. No one can afford it. Jeeps, at least where I'm from, are very, very popular project cars, so we'll put them in S. Acura, again, S as well. The Integra. Genesis is a brand. They haven't aged enough for project cars, so I'll put them in trash as well. Land Rover, I've seen some people do some Land Rover builds, so I'll put them in C. Or if this were in Britain, they'd be an S. Ram, again, it's one of those. They're kind of popular here. I'm going to put them in D. Mitsubishi, oh no, it's written down the Toyota. Toyota's an S. Again, Supras are still up there. And all the other Toyota line. Mitsubishi, also an S. The Evo. Fiat, the Abarth carries it up to C. But I can't really take it any higher. Because it's not old enough really to be a project car, you know. Mazda's an S as well. The Miata, the RX-7, and the Speed 3 and Speed 6. Tesla, you can't really do a project car build on an electric car. Aston Martin, no one can afford. Audi, I could put towards around B because they're popular, but they aren't like as popular as the others. Dodge, I'll put them in C here because they're only like big name cars you can build, or the Charger, the classic Charger and Challenger. The new ones, they just aren't great enough to really be project car material. Project cars, I think, are old cars that are broken when you get them, kind of stuff. Volvo, the Volvo scene here is pretty big in Atlanta, so we'll put them in A. Chevy is an S. LS platform, self-explanatory. Maserati, no one really builds a Maserati as a project car. Same with Koenigsegg. Suzuki, no one. I've never seen anyone build a Suzuki. Buick, the Grand National, puts them in A because that's Buick's saving grace. Bentley, they're starting to catch on a little bit. There's some people that are starting to get a hold of Bentleys, so we'll put them in C. Jaguar, we'll put them in C as well because there's some people who build Jaguar project cars. Alfa Romeo, we don't really have a lot of them in the state. The 124 is still around, so we'll put them in D. Mercedes, there's a pretty okay Mercedes scene, so we'll put them in A as well. Hyundai, the Genesis carries. The Genesis is such a very popular build in Atlanta. We're putting them in S. McLaren, no one can afford for a project car. Ferrari, again, same deal. Cadillac, we'll put in A because the CHSV, the older CHSVs, are becoming very popular project cars. Infiniti, the Gs are popular, and that's why they're putting them in B. But again, there are better platforms to choose, in my opinion. So I would buy a Z before I'd buy a G. So that's why Nissan's an S and Infiniti isn't. GMC, trucks, they kind of all are going to stick together down here in C. Alright, so project car wise, that's our list. A tier is Nissan, Volkswagen, or Nissan, Ford, Subaru, Volkswagen, Honda, Jeep, Acura, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Mazda, Chevy, and Hyundai. Because Nissan, it's the Zs. The Zs carry. The R32s are becoming pretty big names for project cars nowadays. Ford, the Mustang is just such a common build. The Fox bodies are popular for a reason. The SN95s, even, all that kind of stuff. You can build a project Mustang for pretty cheap nowadays. Subaru, the STI, any Impreza line car, the BRZ to an extent as well, because BRZs are getting garage kept a lot more now, being turned into project cars anyway. Volkswagen, the Beetles, and the Golfs here. Honda, it's the most common project car. Most people start off with a Mazda Miata or a Honda Civic as their first project cars. So, yeah, Honda's an S. Jeep is because they're so popular. I personally wouldn't build a Jeep project but some people do, so that's why they're here. Acura, the Integra carries here. The RSX. Toyota, again, the Supra, the IS300, stuff of that nature. Mitsubishi with the Evo and the 3000 GT and stuff of that nature. The Eclipse. I always forget about the Eclipse. Mazda, a lot of their cars are at the point they can be considered project cars. The Speed 3s and Speed 6s are starting to drop in price enough to where I can consider them project car level. Chevy, LS, self-explanatory. F-body, C5, C4 Corvette zone. I know the C4 didn't have an LS, but the C4 and the C5 are pretty inexpensive now. Hyundai, the Genesis carries, and the Tiburon's pretty popular. I don't like Tiburons that much, but the Genesis carries. So our A tier is our next one. BMW, Lexus, Audi, Volvo, Buick, Mercedes, and Cadillac. BMWs because of the E30, the E36, the E46, and stuff of that nature. The 335i's even are all fantastic cars, and BMW can really do some work with those. They're very popular. Lexus, again, the IS300 here is a big one. There are a lot of people in Atlanta who love the IS300, so that's why they're an A. Audi is a very popular one here in the States, or here in Atlanta specifically. I've seen a lot of TTs, a lot of RS4s, a lot of A4s, stuff of that nature. Volvo, again, the Volvo scene in Atlanta is outrageous. One of you guys is subscribed to the channel that owns the Volvo 240 and has recognized me on multiple occasions and has come and talked to me. So, yeah, Volvo is an A. Buick, the Grand National carries here. It's a pretty common. It's not common, but it's a pretty good project car. It's a little V6 turbo car. Why not? Mercedes, the Mercedes scene, stuff like the E190 and stuff like that. Older Mercedes AMGs, stuff of that nature. Cadillac, the original first-gen CTSVs, the V1s are getting very big now, and you can pick up one for under 10 now. Mini and Infiniti are on our B tier here because Minis are cheap, but again, reliability is a problem, so you'll be constantly working on it, so it'll hardly be a project car you can drive. Infiniti is only because I personally would put the Z ahead of the G, and I prefer all the other cars here to the G. And I think that's pretty much Infiniti's only big, like, enthusiast project car level car now, because Infinitis aren't, that was really their only big enthusiast line was the G's and the Q's. And the Q's are too new. All right, our C tier is Land Rover, Fiat, Dodge, Bentley, Jaguar, and GMC. Land Rover, because of their off-road scene, and especially in Europe, they would be an S tier car. A Jeep would flip with Land Rover if this was Europe. Fiat, again, the 500 Abarth is getting relatively inexpensive now. I think it's still just out of project car range, so that's why it's in C and that's not like in B or A. Dodge, again, modern Dodges, there isn't a lot of big name modern Dodges at a project car level yet. The 2.7 V6 is hot garbage. The old Pentastar is garbage. I'd even say the new Pentastar is garbage. The 5.7 you can build, but it's just not going to be as good as an LS or a Coyote platform, or even an older modular like the 3-valve. Even I would be daring to say. The classic Charger though is why it's there. I'd say B and D. Bentley, again, people are starting to get their hands on them. I can't really put them any higher than that because they're still expensive. Jaguar, a lot of old Jaguars are getting really popular for builds. You don't see too many of them in Atlanta, but I know they're a pretty big scene. GMC, the trucks are popular. The Sierra is a very popular build around the area I'm from. I've seen a lot of old Sierras with built suspension and stuff like that. D tier is pretty much just all the ones that it's like where you can't afford. Lotus, Porsche, Ram, and Alfa Romeo. Porsche you can do as a project car because they're getting inexpensive. A 996, I believe, 911, which is the eggplant one. I just call them the eggplant headlights. They're getting relatively inexpensive. An old Boxster, a first-gen Boxster, is relatively inexpensive. A 944 or 928 isn't terribly expensive. The Ram is just the truck market, but I prefer GMC and the Ford trucks over the Ram trucks because they're a little bit more reliable. Alfa Romeo, again, the 124 here. No, that's Fiat. The Alfa Romeo Spider is what I'm thinking of. I keep getting the 124 and the Alfa Romeo Spider confused. The Alfa Romeo Spider is a good car, so that's why it's in D. It's their only big project car. Our straight trash here is Chrysler, Kia, Lincoln, Bugatti, Rolls-Royce, Genesis, Tesla, Aston Martin, Maserati, Koenigsegg, Suzuki, McLaren, and Ferrari. The reasons for that, Chrysler, again, as we said before, they only had one enthusiast car, or two enthusiast cars, and that was the PT Cruiser GT and the and the 300 SRT. Neither of those are really project cars. The PT Cruiser GT is too hard to find, and the Chrysler 300 SRT just isn't good enough to like be a project car in my opinion. Kia, the Stinger is not old enough, and that's the only car I could consider for them being a project car if it ever got old enough and cheap enough. Lincoln, no one builds Lincolns. Bugatti, too expensive. No one can afford a Bugatti. Rolls-Royce, I don't know. I guess you could have like an old Ghost or an old Shadow as a project car, but not any modern ones. Genesis is too new of a brand. Tesla, you can't build an electric car. Aston Martin, they're just too expensive. And the ones that are cheaper, they're just garage kept cars. Maserati, you could probably deal with the old bi-turbo. You could do a bi-turbo, but that's pretty much it. Koenigsegg is just outrageously expensive. Suzuki doesn't have a lot to offer for a project car. McLaren is too expensive, and Ferrari, if you want a good Ferrari, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. The Mondial is garbage. A Golf GTI outruns it. So, personally, for that money, I'd buy the Golf GTI first. So, yeah, that's our project car list. Probably very confusing those who are just tuning in are like, oh, is this really what Jordan thinks about some of these cars? No, it's just the project car list. If you want to go see our actual how we feel about the brands tier list, you can go back. But, yeah. I guess I'll just answer some questions now because I think we've got all we wanted to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera back to its default settings. I'm going to go and set it back to 1080p. There we go. All right. So we'll turn the two monitors off and I can pull the chat back up on my computer. So I guess to close out for the night, we'll go ahead and just answer some questions and all that since some of you guys are still in here. So we'll have some fun with that. The last of you guys, the four of you that are still in here. So if you got any questions you want me to answer before I hop off for the night, I'll gladly answer them now. Because we've got pretty much all we wanted to talk about in all the tier list stuff. So yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to try to shoot another video for Friday. I don't exactly know what we're going to shoot just yet. Like I said, Hayden's sick, so it looks like our S2000 video plan isn't going to go quite as good as we wanted to. I wanted to do a proper return of the S2K video, so it doesn't look like that's going to actually happen because Hayden's sick, so can't really blame him. I mean, getting sick is something you can't just not do. It's just, it happens. This isn't my gaming channel, but I mean, if y'all want to ask gaming related questions or anything like that, y'all can. But my gaming channel is primarily where I would like to do a Q&A eventually on how I feel about certain games and stuff like that. But if you don't want to ask questions about games here, I don't mind. My nose is like really itchy all of a sudden. But yeah, this is a long stream. I didn't even realize all this stream's been going on at almost an hour, almost 2 hours. I think it take us that long to go through all these tier lists, but yeah, I mean, we're hopefully gonna have a good video out next Monday because we are planning on going to the local meet on Friday, which we'll get to shoot and do a pretty decent video on. I plan on getting all the new guys together. Subatomic Tooth is one of them. I'm going to try to get with him probably in the next couple of days and try to get him over for Friday for Boosted. And, of course, I've already talked to Brandon. He's good to go. We'll have the Integra here. It's been a while since that's been on video. And as long as Hayden's up to it, he'll be here. So, as long as the weather stays good, too. I don't even know what the weather's looking right now. How's the weather looking? We're clear Friday. There is also a car show going on Saturday that I guess I can put up on screen if I can find a way to display it. It's I'll probably just put it up to my phone because it'd be probably better. I'm trying to remember what it was. Okay, so this event is going on Saturday. The plan is we'll be there, so just take a look at that. If it'll focus, there you go. So me and Hayden and hopefully the rest of the guys will be there. So if you want to see us in person, here's the address for that show. It's on Saturday. We'll probably get there like noonish because none of us really get up at 8 in the morning or something like that. So, if you guys want to meet us in person, you guys can see us there at that show. I don't know if the truck will be there because we're trying to see if we can get it in the shop on Saturday to get the headers on. I can't guarantee it, but we're going to try. So, yeah. Guess if anyone has any questions, I'll answer them. But if not, we'll go ahead and shut down for the night. So, yeah, I mean, that's really all I can say. Oh, man. My nose is not good. S2000 or STI? S2000. Hayden. 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 You not know the answer to this question? You not know the answer to this question, bro. I love STIs, but I would have an S2000 for obvious reasons. I've driven an S2000. I haven't driven an STI, and I've ridden a WX. So I've ate the headliner of an WX because someone named Dalton decided to go over a speed bump at 40 miles an hour. Dalton. I'm just picking at Dalton. Dalton's cool. I'm gonna try to see if he can come down too for Friday. I'm gonna try to get the whole group together again. It's been a while. Yeah, I don't know why Hayden's asking this because he knows the answer. But yeah, S2000 would be what I would choose over an STI. There's a giveaway going on right now, and I've seen on Facebook. It's a S2000. You pick one, and the loser gets the other. The winner gets to choose between an STI and a Subaru, or an STI and an S2000, and the loser gets whatever the one the guy didn't pick. And I'm probably like one of like 5 people that picked the S2000 first. Because STIs are cool and all, but I just prefer F20s over the EJs. So, I know Hayden knows that. He's just picking on me. But, yeah. So, I guess that wraps it up for the night. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We had a lot of fun giving you guys just kind of our idea on tier lists for various things, you know, how we feel about brands, the racing heritage, and project cars. So I guess to close out for the night, go follow Hayden on Instagram at Practice_Truth. Big thanks to him for coming on like always. Sucks he's sick right now, so he wasn't able to stay on for the entirety of the stream. So hopefully, I guess everyone who's left in the chat, put a get well soon Hayden in the chat. Make sure we can give him all the support we can to help him get better. And not like it actually does anything besides medication. But hopefully he'll be good to go for Friday, so we can have him for boosted as well. Because yes, 2000 hasn't been on camera in ages. I do have some behind-the-scenes footage of him releasing the gap sauce on me about 2 weeks ago that I took on the DB Power Cam, this little guy. So I may put that on YouTube. I haven't done it because I've seen what's happened to Tall Guy car reviews and a couple other YouTubers that got arrested for going to Mexico. So I would that's why I haven't put it on YouTube yet. My Instagram, my Snapchat saw it first. My personal Snapchat saw it first. I put like a little flyby clip on Instagram the other day for Best Friends Day. That's pretty much it. I haven't put the actual showdown anywhere else with Snapchat, which is gone anyway because it was a one-day store. So it may be in the next video the S2000's in. Who knows? I may talk about it and briefly put the clip up. So if y'all want to see me get sauced again, my record go to 1 and 2. You guys are more than welcome to. We got to make sure the S2000 gets its own video first. So next time the S2000 gets a feature film, we'll try to put it in. I'll try to remember to bring it up. But yeah, so like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We had a lot of fun. We're gonna do this probably more often as the next little while goes on. I don't have a lot to do right now because of summer break, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys on Friday for the next video.